Hello and welcome to this quick video just to have a look at something that has been put up on the SpeedyBee website just a couple of days ago. Now this is something that I've actually had in for a little while, but there has been a small delay just doing some bits and pieces, and it's all about kind of international shipping, but it appears that that is all sorted now. So this has gone on the website, but as I physically got it in my hands, I thought I'd make a video and show you a lot closer up. This is the SpeedyBee Bee35 3.5 inch frame, and it is that kind of big whoop style where there is the enclosures around the props, and the enclosure is injection molded plastic. It's that smoked effect, and actually does have a channel if you want to put EL wire in here so it lights up like lots of these models seem to at the moment. That's absolutely something that you can do. Now SpeedyBee seem to be absolutely smashing it at the moment, coming out with not only flight stacks but also really nice frames too. Those of you that have been watching the channel for a while will recognize this. This is the SpeedyBee Master 5 V2 frame. This is one that has lots of room inside to soft mount your flight controller. Then behind it there's shed loads of room for your FPV system, whichever that is. Room for a receiver. There is the setup on the back, which is for your GPS, and also for the antennas of your choice, including things like crossfire, those kind of holes at the bottom, space for your caps, vibration isolation at the front for your cameras, and a mount for your GoPro or your action camera as well, and little LEDs at the side, and these little protective pieces that go around the flight controller. I actually really like these, having flown a couple of quads over the past few weeks where the grass is getting a lot longer. The flight controller ends up looking like I've pulled it out the inside of the bin from my lawnmower, just completely covered in grass. Now this obviously has an awful lot of similarities with that frame. Again, we have lots of different pieces here that will look a little bit similar to the stuff that we've just been looking at. But there are some really cute touches in here, so I thought I'd go through and show you them in close up. First thing to talk about is that there is a little metal cage at the front. It's actually aluminium alloy. It's been anodized. These little circles, there are two different strengths of insert that can go in here, which provides vibration isolating for your main FPV camera. Does then also mean that there has been quite a bit of thought about how to keep your FPV system cool. Because typically the way it works is that your kind of HD system is going to be mounted down here. This is actually a metal piece, and then your flight controller stack is kind of mounted on the underside of this top plate. Now this is metal, and the way it's designed is that you would screw your HD system into it and it acts as a whopping great heatsink. In terms of the room for your flight controller stack, there's quite a lot in here. There's lots of room as well to still be able to get access to things like your USB connection for it. It has hole patterns for 20 by 20 millimeters, 25.5 by 25.5, and good old 30.5 by 30.5 as well. They've even thought about how you can mount the battery strap. Now, by default, I've got it on standard way. However, you can absolutely go from front to back as well. So if you want the battery, which I quite like, the bigger batteries will fit across rather than front to back, because there's not a massive amount of room. If I grab and just check, so the maximum battery you could probably get in here is 75 millimeters front to back, which isn't huge. But if you go side to side, then you've got an awful lot more room to play with. And this piece on here is removable. It allows you to get into the top of the stack. The other nice thing they thought about is accessing the flight controller. So in the box, you get lots of different cables. The USB-C port is kind of presented out here, and there is a cable inside that you can connect into the flight controller or a UART. Now that's a really nice idea. It means that rather than you have to really fight with everything, you can, if you can't get easy access to the flight controller through these big holes that are in this frame, actually stick the USB cable up its backside and access the flight controller to do whatever it is that you need to do. The actual ring itself, which everything is bolted onto, seems nice and rigid. That rigidity does mean that in the event of a nasty crash, it might snap. The good news is it is available as a separate spare part. So if you do have a nasty crash and manage to smash one of these, then you can absolutely get another one and just pull the top and bottom boards off and swap everything around. All of the parts supplied, surprise, surprise, because this is SpeedyBee, is in kind of this honey yellow colour. And again, you have the GPS mount at the back with the mount for the different antennas. There's also 2 additional pieces in the box that look like shark fins with holes in. They're designed to go on these 2 rear motor connections. So if you have a crossfire antenna and you're mounting it horizontally, you can hold the central piece in here, and the other 2 longer ends of the antenna are actually going to be held safely there so they don't drop into the props in the event of a crash or something else happening. Now, the mount I've got on the front of this isn't the one that comes by default. This is the shock absorbing mount for something like an action camera. There is one that's included in the kit, which is a more basic one that can actually screw using the same bolts that hold the frame onto the aluminium front. But this is a really nice addition. If you are using this as a cine quad, then that will give you extra vibration isolating, and it's been designed so that it kind of all fits around the frame really nicely and gives a really good spot to put your camera. So in terms of the basic specs of this, wheelbase is 153mm, top plate thickness is 3.5mm, and it is beautifully finished. SpeedyBee really are doing a cracking job at making this stuff at the moment. Bottom plate thickness is 2mm. Camera mounting distance is 19 to 20mm, and then you also have your ESC motor mounting height, 24mm, and then the flight stack will go with everything from 20 to 30.5 to 30.5. Propeller size is 90mm, and the motor mounting holes in here are 12 by 12. Overall frame weight in standard configuration is about 138 grams. The CNC heatsink itself isn't particularly heavy, but I think this is a fantastic idea if you want to fly some HD system on it. It's about 15 grams. Recommended motor for this is going to be something like an 1806, 2004 or a 2006. Recommended KV on a 4S model going to be around 25 to 3500. On a 6S, if you want to run it a bit hotter, is going to be something like an 1800 to a 2300 kV. Recommended batteries are going to be 9 to 1500 milliamp hours. So I just thought I would show you what this actually looked like, as showing as pre-order on the website. So I thought it'd be fun to actually show you what it looks like in the flesh. Last thing I'll comment on is how easy is it to put together? Well, it's not as easy as I would have liked. This is the only thing that wasn't exceptional with the experience getting this in and putting it together. The manual itself isn't very good. It doesn't show you step by step of how each piece goes together. So if you are a frame building novice, the manual as it stands right now, I don't think is particularly good. However, if you've built a couple of these things, you'll figure it all out. The big thing is that all of the screws that are supplied are marked up, and you get loads of spares. So if you accidentally drop one, then you know what, it's not the end of the world, and keep all those spares handy because you have all the mounting and all the spares so that if you do accidentally lose something in a crash or something gets broken or damaged, you have spares that you can go to put it all together. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch my videos and find them useful, then please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. If you really like what I'm doing here, you can become a Patreon and support the time I spend helping others and get access to lots of exclusive benefits. Link is in the video description. Remember that all the videos on the channel are organized into playlists, so you can easily use those playlists to find all the videos on a subject that you are interested in. Add Painless360 to your searches on Google and YouTube, and it'll help you find my content for any particular topic. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy flying.